Hi guys, welcome to Vohra Method. I'm Arvin Vohra, founder of Vohra Method, and this is part of a series of training videos for new instructors. I want to talk about some of the fundamental principles of Vohra Method, and I want to start by talking about the difference between what I see happening in schools and what real academic intellectual education, in my opinion, should look like. In schools, largely what I see is basically obedience training in one way or another. You see this a lot in math, where the way that math is taught, it's somebody gives you instructions and then you follow the instructions. And that isn't really math. That's obedience training with numbers. You're not learning how to think. You're not getting the powerful advantages of math, of learning to think logically, independently, build resilience, build perseverance, prepare yourself for a life of excellence. And instead, you're basically learning how to follow somebody else's instructions. So the idea is that usually what we see in schools, or at least what I see in schools, is instead of having people develop the ability to think, instead they're developing the ability to follow instructions, which is, in my opinion, a completely useless ability. So at Vohra Method, we teach math very differently. We teach math essentially through a series of challenging problems. Now, it doesn't mean we don't have any instructions at all. Obviously, at the very least, the student needs to be in the room and paying attention, responding. So it's not like we have a total free-for-all of madness, but the goal is fundamentally different. Whereas now the goal is not just to teach students to follow instructions, but to develop the ability to think, to figure things out, to develop both the psychological aspects of resilience and perseverance, and the intellectual aspects of seeing how numbers work and all that kind of stuff. So in class, you're never going to really say, like, here's how you do a problem. Instead, you're going to give a student a problem. The student's going to struggle with it. You might ask them some questions. You may maybe provide some encouragement, all that. But what you're never going to do is say, here's how to do it. There are a couple of exceptions to that. There's the long division algorithm. You're not going to have students figure that out. We'll just show them a video on how to do that. But for most things above that level, so all of algebra, multiplying fractions, adding fractions, there's going to be much more of an aspect of having students figure stuff out. Math by itself, in my opinion, is just not that important. I mean, for most people it is not. Even for me, it's not that important. But the ability to think, to figure things out, to do all that, that's super important. And that's the most important thing that we want to really emphasize in Vohra Method training is this is not just about another obedience training program. Here we're trying to help people become smarter, more resilient, more independent, not just better followers.